Whiskey is more than just a drink. It's a story of age, aroma, and legacy. Before we dive into today's guide, make sure to check out our previous videos on whiskey basics and tasting techniques. They'll take your appreciation to the next level. But stick around for now because this is the ultimate guide to whiskey. Ready? Let's start with the basics, whiskey age. The number on a whiskey bottle tells you how long it's been maturing in oak barrels. A 12-year-old whiskey, for example, has spent 12 years soaking up flavors from the wood. But remember, whiskey doesn't age in the bottle. Whether you drink it now or decades from now, it'll still taste like a 12-year-old whiskey. The aging process is essential because it transforms raw spirit into something smooth, flavorful, and complex. During its time in the barrel, whiskey interacts with the wood, absorbing compounds like vanillin and tannins, which create flavors of vanilla, caramel, and spice. But older isn't always better. Younger whiskeys can be bold and punchy, while older ones are smoother and more refined. It all depends on your taste. The age of whiskey is a fascinating journey. As it rests in the barrel, it undergoes a slow, magical transformation. The spirit breathes in and out of the wood, influenced by the changing seasons. This interaction not only mellows the harsh edges, but also imparts a rich tapestry of flavors. Did you know that the location of the distillery can also affect the aging process? Whiskeys aged in warmer climates mature faster, while those in cooler regions take their time, developing more nuanced flavors. This is why a 12-year-old Scotch might taste different from a 12-year-old bourbon. Ever wondered why aged whiskey can be so expensive? Let's talk about the Angel's share and how it impacts price. As whiskey ages in barrels, a portion evaporates through the wood, called the Angel's share. Over time, this can result in significant losses, sometimes up to 50% in decades-long aging. This loss reduces the amount of whiskey available for bottling, making older whiskeys rarer and more expensive. Add to that storage costs and the enhanced quality from aging, and you've got a recipe for premium prices. So the next time you sip a fine-aged whiskey, remember, you're paying for the Angels too. Cheers to the Angels! Now let's talk about one of the most fascinating parts of whiskey making, cask charring. This fiery process is where the magic truly begins. Charring involves exposing the inside of the barrel to an open flame. The level of charring can vary, from a light toast to a heavy char known as alligator char for its cracked texture. Why is this important? Charring releases compounds like vanillin, adding sweet and smoky flavors. First, the charcoal layer filters out impurities. Second, heat caramelizes the wood sugars, giving whiskey its iconic amber hue. Third, it's this process that gives every whiskey its unique soul. Let's talk about Scotch, the crown jewel of whiskey. Scotland makes some of the best, and each type has its own story. Single malt Scotch made from 100% malted barley at a single distillery. It's all about showcasing a distillery's unique character. Ever tried Glenfiddich or the Macallan? Single grain Scotch. This one's lighter and smoother, with other grains like wheat or corn mixed in. Cameron Brigg is a great example. Blended Scotch whiskey. Here's the crowd pleaser. A mix of single malt and single grain whiskeys from different distilleries. Think Johnny Walker or Chivas Regal. Peated Scotch loves smoky flavors. Peated Scotch is made with barley dried over peat fires. Ardbeg and Laphroaig are must-tries. Regional flavors. Each region in Scotland brings something different. Highlands, floral to full-bodied, like Dalmore. Speyside, fruity and sherry-rich, like Glenlivet. Islay, smoky and coastal, Lagavulin, anyone? But whiskey isn't just a Scottish affair, it's global. Ireland, triple distilled and smooth like Jameson. USA, sweet and bold with bourbon and Tennessee classics like Jack Daniels. Japan, elegant and precise, try Yamazaki. India, bold, tropical flavors like Amrut. Taiwan, fruity and vibrant with stars like Kavalan. Now for the dreamers, here are some of the priciest whiskeys ever sold. Isabella's Islay, $6.2 million, luxury defined, with diamonds and rubies on the bottle. The Macallan, 1926, $1.9 million, a rare aged beauty. Yamazaki, 55-year-old, $800,000, Japan's masterpiece. These bottles are more than whiskey. They're history, art, and exclusivity in a glass. There's one more category of whiskey that's gaining popularity. Whiskeys without age statements, or NAS whiskeys. These whiskeys don't display an age on the bottle, which might leave some people wondering what's inside. Traditionally, whiskey bottles always showed the age, like 12 years old or 18 years old. But today, some producers are opting to bottle their whiskey without revealing the exact age. So why would a distillery choose to release a whiskey without an age? Well, there are a few reasons. First reason, whiskeys without age statements allow distillers to blend different batches or barrels of whiskey, giving them flexibility in creating a consistent flavor profile, even if some components are younger or older than others. Second, NAS whiskeys allow distillers to experiment with new techniques or cask finishes that might not fit into traditional aging expectations. For instance, they might use barrels that have been aged for shorter or longer periods, or even finish them in unusual casks like rum or wine barrels. Third, without the constraints of a specific aging period, these whiskeys may offer a more affordable alternative to traditional aged whiskeys. It's a great way for newcomers to explore high-quality spirits without the hefty price tag. Before we conclude, let's highlight a remarkable achievement in the world of whiskey. The Indri Dru Single Malt, crafted by India's Piccadilly distilleries, has been honored as the best Indian single malt at the World Whiskies Awards 2024. Indri Dru is a cask strength expression matured in ex-bourbon barrels, offering a vibrant and fruit-forward profile with subtle hints of chocolate and citrus. This recognition underscores the growing prominence of Indian single malts on the global stage. From the subtle aromas of a single malt to the legacy behind the world's rarest bottles, whiskey is more than just a drink, it's a story. Want to dive deeper into this rich world? Hit subscribe now and join us for more fascinating guides, expert insights, and exclusive stories from the whiskey universe. Cheers to your next pour. Disclaimer: this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Please remember to enjoy whiskey responsibly and in moderation. This content is intended for viewers of legal drinking age in their respective locations. Always respect local laws and guidelines regarding alcohol consumption. If you have concerns about alcohol use, consider seeking guidance from a professional. Stay informed and drink responsibly.